Good evening and welcome inside Appalachian Power Park. Andrew Banstra here with you live from Charleston, West Virginia, as this series heads into the second of 4 games here on Memorial Day weekend here in West Virginia. Your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs come into this game with a 23-8 record after last night's defeat at the hands of the Charleston Dirty Birds by a score of 5-0. Southern Maryland was able to collect just 2 hits in last night's contest and will look to turn the bats around this evening as they face off against the right-hander in Stephen Chambly. Chambly facing off against the left-hander for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in Mitch Lampson. In front of a packed crowd tonight here in Charleston, West Virginia, thrilled to be bringing you Blue Crabs baseball on your home for Blue Crabs baseball, the hometown real estate broadcast network. In just a moment, we'll get right into the starting lineups, starting a little bit later than we generally would like to. A couple of circumstances out of our control, but we're here, and we're happy to be bringing you Blue Crabs baseball on really a beautiful night. Saturday night, post-game fireworks to follow the game. If you're in the Charleston area, and the beautiful picturesque setting that we have it as a backdrop behind this ballpark. Get you the starting lineups in just a moment. Let's get them up on the screen for you when we can. Southern Maryland had a 12-game win streak earlier in this season in addition to a 7-game win streak. But right now, having lost 4 of their last 5, despite finding themselves comfortably in first place, 8 games up on the second-place Lancaster Barnstormers, Southern Maryland really looking for a win here this evening, trying to get back on the right path. The Blue Crabs did win a couple of nights ago, but have found themselves now having lost back-to-back games for the second time in their last 5 games, something that didn't happen all season prior to that first back-to-back skid. Southern Maryland looking to rebound this evening. Again, a really lively crowd here this evening. Got to be honest, I'm impressed. We've got a pretty good showing here in Charleston, West Virginia this evening. And with that being said, let us turn it over to the starting lineups right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Leading off for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs this evening will be the right fielder Braxton Lee. Lee, the left-handed hitting right fielder, has a fantastic arm and finds himself in the leadoff hole here this evening. Apologize for any technical difficulties we may be experiencing with our camera at this moment, as they're being fixed as we speak. With that being said, getting right back into the starting lineups, batting second for your Blue Crabs, it's Raul Shaw. Shaw, the second baseman, hits .323 on the season. Batting third, Jared Walker. Walker, the first baseman, 7 home runs on the season. In the cleanup spot, David Harris. Harris, the left fielder, a .322 hitter on the season, is followed by Alex Crosby. Crosby, the third baseman, an everyday corner infielder for Southern Maryland. Batting fifth, Zach Collier. Make that 6th Zach Collier. Collier, 3 home runs on the year. He'll man center field this evening for your Blue Crabs. Batting 7th, the designated hitter, Joe DeLuca, a switch hitter in his 5th game back with the Blue Crabs in this 2022 season. And rounding out the lineup, it's the shortstop, Michael Baca. Baca had one of 2 Blue Crabs hits last night. And on the mound for Southern Maryland, the left-hander, it's Mitch Lampson. Lampson's been fantastic this year, 2-0 with a 4.33 ERA. And he'll face off against Stephen Chambly here on a Saturday night in Charleston, West Virginia. The starting lineup for the Charleston Dirty Birds, tonight's home team, leading off the shortstop, Connor Justice, to be followed by Anthony Seymour, the center fielder. Batting third, Juan Perez, the designated hitter. And in the cleanup spot, Diego Goris, the third baseman, a .278 hitter on the season. Back in the lineup tonight for the Dirty Birds, the first baseman, Nick Longy, a .306 batting average on the year, plus a .588 slugging percentage. Batting sixth, Angel Beltre, one of 2 Angels in the outfield for the Charleston Dirty Birds this evening. The left fielder followed by Alfredo Gonzalez, the catcher. The other Angel, batting 8th, Angel Garcet in right field. And Scott Kelly, the second baseman for the Charleston Dirty Birds. Step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be right back with Blue Crabs baseball.
Fans, tonight we honor and show our appreciation for teachers not only in our community, but across our nation. Please rise and join us in a moment of silence as we remember the 21 lives lost on Tuesday, May 24th at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Tonight we mourn with the family, friends, and communities of the 19 children and 2 teachers that lost their lives in the senseless act of violence.
Performing the national anthem tonight, Chamberlain Elementary School Choir.
After a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, it's time for Blue Crabs baseball right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Andrew Banster with you as we get set for tonight's contest. Of course, once again, recapping last night, Southern Maryland took the loss 5-0. It was their 4th loss in their last 5 games after starting the season 22-4. Southern Maryland trying to pick it back up despite really having a comfortable lead in first place in the Atlantic League North Division, way ahead of everybody else, 8 games up. As Stephen Chambly warms on the mound for the Charleston Dirty Birds. The numbers on the year for Chambly, 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA. Hasn't gotten any wins, but he's been good almost every time out. He has faced the Blue Crabs once this season. It was back on May the 15th. He went 5 innings, allowing 1 run, no strikeouts, and he allowed half a dozen hits as Chambly prepares to go through this Southern Maryland order, or at least attempt to once more. Let's toss up the starting lineup on the screen once more in case you missed it. For the Blue Crabs, it's Braxton Lee, Raul Shaw, and Jared Walker beginning. David Harris bats 4th with Alex Crosby and Zach Collier following. 7-8-9 read as follows: Joe DeLuca, Ryan Haug, and Michael Baca. For your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, here on a Saturday night in Charleston, West Virginia. The Blue Crabs looking to get back to their winning ways as Braxton Lee leads things off. Just his third time this season leading off in the batting order for Southern Maryland. Jack Sundberg led off last night for Southern Maryland. And here is the MLB veteran and Braxton Lee up to the plate. Right on left matchup, out of the stretch is Chambly. First pitch swung on, foul ball to the right side. And that's how we get started. First pitch at 6:39 here in Charleston, West Virginia. Lee enters play as a .245 hitter on the season. 13 RBIs on the campaign. Lee from the left side. Sees a fastball just etch its way on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Lee made his MLB debut with the Miami Marlins a couple of years ago. Here in his second year in the Atlantic League and with the Blue Crabs. Line shot to the right side on a dive is Scott Kelly, who fires to first. Nick Longy catches in time for out number 1. It's not the first time even in this series that we've seen Scott Kelly make a fantastic defensive play, taking away what could have been a Blue Crabs hit. That brings up Raul Shaw. Shaw, one of the top hitters in the Atlantic League in terms of batting average this season. But really, the whole entire Blue Crabs offense took some struggles last night. Southern Maryland had just 2 hits in the game as Shaw fouls the first pitch he sees to the right side. The first hit Southern Maryland had last night was a Michael Baca bloop single to the right side. Zach Collier also had a bunt single in the 8th inning. Those were the only 2 hits Southern Maryland could muster. Talking about a team in Southern Maryland that had a stretch earlier this year where they had 8 games, winning all of them and averaging 10 runs a game. So we know the offense is there. It is by and large the same roster makeup that we saw even at that time. Really the only difference being Ruby Silva no longer in the lineup for Southern Maryland. Shaw behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Raul from the right side, and the pitch. Slider off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Last night, Raul lost a 9-game hit streak. That is one of the longest in the entire Atlantic League this season. The Atlantic League, the highest level of baseball played for Raul Shaw, who's been crushing it this year with the Blue Crabs. The 1-2, slider foul to the right side. You know, you can really say this about anybody in any of Stan Clyburn's clubhouses, but you can't talk enough about just the high character of individuals that he brings in. Shaw certainly fits that mold. Really a good all-around guy that also just so happens to be fantastic at baseball. Shaw from the right side facing Stephen Chambly. The pitch, well struck to the left side. If it's fair, it's gone. Let's see if it can just barely hold fair, and it can't. Just outside the foul pole in left. Shaw kind of thinking the same thing I was. I thought that might have stayed in the foul pole. It's really, really hard to tell from up here, though. Thinking we might have had some magic off the bat of Raul Shaw as he digs back into the right-handed batter's box. Beautiful, picturesque setting here in Charleston, West Virginia, in front of a packed crowd at Appalachian Power Park. Shaw enters play today as a .323 hitter on the season. Tops in the Blue Crabs order, just 1 point above David Harris. And the pitch, fastball off the plate. We're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if nothing else, making the starter work tonight, most likely one of the keys to success for the Blue Crabs. Of course, last night, Jordan Stevens allowed 1 hit over 6 innings. Was taken out after the 6th, but the Dirty Birds went to their top options in the bullpen. This pitch just a touch inside, and now working full is Stephen Chambly, who takes his time getting back to the mound. Stevens last night worked very quickly. Chambly out of the stretch, trying to set the tone here early. Shaw waiting the payoff pitch. Here it comes. Driven to the right side. Back goes the right fielder, and he catches on the run. Wow, what a snag out in right field from Angel Garced, stealing extra bases from Raul Shaw. Really an unfortunate at bat for Shaw. He had that foul home run just by maybe a foot, and it would have landed at least 400 feet. It was above the foul pole. We'll show you that in left field. It was all the way above that foul pole. You just couldn't really tell whether it was fair or foul. And then Angel Garced was able to rob him of extra bases there. Here comes Jared Walker, 7 home runs on the season, good for 4th most in the Atlantic League to this point in the campaign. Saw Walker take a couple out in batting practice today. See if he can continue that stride here in this evening's contest. David Harris awaits on deck, should we need it. Walker's 0-1, taken for a ball off the plate, 1-1 the count. Walker's .510 slugging percentage is good for 14th best in the Atlantic League in this 2022 season. A guy that mashes the ball to all sides of the field but favors the pull. Setting up outside and the pitch, driven to right field over the diving second baseman in Scott Kelly. And just like that, the Blue Crabs find a base runner here in the first inning. Jared Walker with a ripped single. Southern Maryland had just 3 base runners in yesterday's contest. Zach Collier reached twice, and Michael Baca singled once. A couple of changes in the lineup tonight. Jack Sundberg out in favor of Harris, who moves from the DH to left field. The only newcomer into tonight's lineup is Ryan Haug, who's been dealing with an injury for the last few days. Happy to see him back in the lineup. First pitch to David Harris, swung on and missed. Can't say enough good things about David, whose 37 hits on the year are the second most in the entire Atlantic League. Saw him and Walker just trading off one pitch, one swing in batting practice. Each of them hit 3 homers in a row. Right on right matchup. Harris sees a fastball and belts it into straightaway center. Doesn't look to get too deep as the shortstop Connor Justice gets under it and snags it with 2 hands for out number 3. Southern Maryland strands 1 but can't score here in the top of the first inning. Mitch Lampson to the hill when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team, the realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41 plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Mitch Lampson onto the mound as we take things into the bottom of the first here at Appalachian Power Park. Andrew Banstra here with you from Charleston, West Virginia. Game 2 of a 4-game set as we take things into the bottom half of the first inning. Mitch Lampson, the 2019 American Association pitcher of the year, takes the hill here in Charleston, West Virginia. His first start here in Charleston in his career. And the southpaw takes the mound with a perfect winning percentage on the season. One of 4 qualified pitchers in the Atlantic League that has not received a loss this year. Big curveball in there for strike number 1, and Lamson's night's underway. He'll face off against Connor Justice to lead things off. Lamson working quick and out of the windup. The 0-1, well struck to the left side. Back goes David Harris. Harris to the track and a leap. Can't quite get there, but it bounces off the wall in left field. Stays in this ballpark and goes down as a leadoff double for the Dirty Birds. The lineup once more for Charleston. Justice leads off with the center fielder Anthony Seymour batting second. Juan Perez batting third, the designated hitter. The cleanup man, Diego Goris, plays third base with Nick Longi batting fifth, the first baseman. Angel Beltre, the left fielder, bats sixth with Alfredo Gonzalez batting seventh, Angel Garcet batting eighth, and Scott Kelly batting ninth. Here comes Anthony Seymour. Seymour had a good night last night. Found his way aboard a few times, including a solo home run that led off the third inning of action. Playing the bunt are the Blue Crabs. Corners in. Seymour showed bunt a couple of times last night, but swings away on pitch number 1. Straightaway center. In comes Zach Collier, who catches for out number 1. A good rebound for Mitch Lamson, a guy that's known to really feel his way into the game, and generally an individual that is going to be nothing short of locked down. Mentioned earlier, he was the 2019 American Association Pitcher of the Year. That's no small feat. Played for the Winnipeg Goldeyes for years and years and was an absolute menace on the mound. Has pitched as high as the AAA level as Mitch Lamson. And now here comes Juan Perez. As for Juan Perez, he got the start in last night's game, but in the fourth inning, he fouled the ball off of his ankle, finished the at-bat, but would exit the game afterwards and found himself out of the lineup for the rest of the night. Perez's .357 batting average is the best in the entire Atlantic League, and his 10 doubles are good for the fourth most. Pickoff move to second, just keeping Connor Justice honest. Lamson in his sixth start of the year. He's 2-0 with a 4.33 ERA. Here in the month of May, he's been even better, though. Looking at the numbers in the month of May, 1-0 with a 3.08 ERA in 4 starts. Off-speed pitch downstairs, and we're even at a ball and a strike. Really good to see Ryan Haug back behind the dish. Southern Maryland with 3 really, really good catchers that they can pick from on any given night. Haug started 11 of the first 12 games for Southern Maryland this year. The 1-1 will have to wait as Mitch Lamson spins around, thinks about firing to second, but holds back instead. Lamson a long look in, the left-hander. 31 years old, originally from Montclair, California. Here comes the 1-1. Well struck, but well foul. And it gets into the concourse section, a ball and 2 strikes. Lamson, 6'1", 205 pounds, went to college at Arizona State. Was drafted in 2011 in the 19th round by the Houston Astros. The 1-2. Inside just by a touch, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Juan Perez, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs on the season. A look back to second from Lamson and the pitch. Fastball just a touch low, and we're full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mitch Lamson trying to set down Juan Perez here in the bottom of the first. Connor Justice stands in scoring position after a leadoff double. Look back to second and the payoff pitch. High chopper to the left side. Michael Baca fields, fires across the infield, and records out number 2. A really good rebound here for Mitch Lampson, who allowed what nearly was a leadoff home run to Connor Justice, but then induced a pop out and a ground out, I should say, giving us 2 away with a runner at third. That brings up Diego Goris. Goris got the start last night and had easily his best game of the 2022 season. Diego, entering play yesterday, held a .219 batting average in 8 games played, but he picked up 3 hits last night and a pair of RBIs in addition to a home run. Big game out of the cleanup spot last night as Lampson misses outside with his first pitch to Goris. Lampson, the southpaw, working out of the stretch. Foul ball right back into the protective netting. And every fan in here thought that was going to get him. Sometimes they forget about the protective netting. I do too. I mean, I flinched on that one, no question about it. Goris, a .278 hitter on the season. Batting in the cleanup spot for Billy Horn's Charleston Dirty Birds here this evening. The 1-1. Big curveball misses upstairs. To the count, 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the first inning. Lampson sees a 2-1 count. The pitch, just a touch inside, and now 3-1 goes the count. Nick Longy awaits on deck should we need it. The first baseman, another power hitter in this Dirty Birds lineup. Lampson, a long look to first. Should say to home, and here comes the pitch. The 3-1 swung on top of, got a piece of it, did Diego Goris, but he falls behind in a 3-2 count. Lampson trying to work out of this here in the bottom of the first inning. The payoff pitch. Getting a piece of it is Diego Goris, but it turns into a souvenir. Working a long and drawn-out at bat here is Diego Goris. Lampson trying to get out of this first inning with no damage done. And the payoff pitch once more from the left-hander. High fly ball, out of play. At least it looks like it will be. Crosby giving it range nonetheless. Tries to reach into his own dugout, but he can't quite get there. And it's another foul ball. Lampson wears number 40 on the back of his Navy Southern Maryland jersey. The southpaw facing the Dirty Birds for the first time in his career. Did not pitch against them when Charleston headed to Southern Maryland for a 3-game trip earlier this year. Ryan Howe giving his southpaw the sign. The 3-2 inbound. Ground ball to the left side. It's through the infield. Gets in between Michael Baca and Alex Crosby. A single for Diego Goris as he picks up his 3rd RBI of the series. So the inning continues here as Nick Longy steps in to the right-handed batter's box. Longy's .406 on base percentage on the season, the 13th best in the entire Atlantic League. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs for the first baseman. Pickoff move to first, just keeping Goris honest over at the first base bag. Strike called down low. Fans didn't love it, but Lamson will take it. I thought it was right there, to be perfectly frank with you, but I may have some bias on that. Lamson will look over to first. No balls and a strike the count. Reaching for an off-speed off the plate was Longy, and he taps it into the dirt, foul. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. Longy's been one of the better hitters in the Atlantic League over the last 10 games. The 0-2, driven right back up the middle. It's a line drive single, including a bat flip from Nick Longy, which, to be perfectly frank, is surprising on a single, but nonetheless, the inning continues. Here comes Angel Beltre. Beltre, the 6th hitter in this Dirty Birds lineup. A trio of hits here in this bottom of the first inning for the Dirty Birds. First pitch, swung on and missed. Last night, it was a quick start for Charleston as well. They sent 7 batters to the plate in their first inning of action. Got some Blue Crabs fans in the house this evening. Wes Mumper and his son Jimmy in the building. As a off-speed pitch misses just a touch downstairs, a ball and a strike the count. The Dirty Birds were only able to get 1 run despite sending 7 hitters to the plate in the bottom of the first last night. The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Angel Beltre, an MLB veteran, hits .260 on the season. Southern Maryland, 23 wins, 8 losses on the campaign. The Dirty Birds enter play 14-17. 2 balls and a strike, and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a sweeping slider, and the count 2-2. Lamson trying to stop the bleeding here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 on and 2 away. Left on left matchup. Lamson out of the stretch. And the pitch. Down low, Ryan Haug is able to block it. Keeps it in front of him. Goes down as ball number 1. Should say ball number 3. We're full at 3-2. Lamson, the left-hander, continuing in this bottom of the first inning. Just 1 run allowed. Look back to second in the pitch. Runners go on the pitch. Called strike 3. Angel Beltre doesn't love it. The Blue Crabs will take it right on the corner. Called strike 3, and that's how the Dirty Birds strand a pair. They do score 1 in the bottom half of the first. It's 1-0, Charleston on top as we take things into the top of the second on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
To the top of the second we go. Southern Maryland trying to get some offense going. The offense has been stagnant over these last couple of days. Southern Maryland, despite being 8 games up in the Atlantic League North Division, has lost 4 of their last 5 games. Looking to turn it back on here this evening. Saturday night in Charleston, West Virginia, in front of a packed crowd at Appalachian Power Ballpark. Andrew Banstra here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network, bringing you live Blue Crabs baseball. Here comes Alex Crosby, who will lead things off for Southern Maryland offensively in the second inning. Crosby on the year, a .283 hitter, 1 home run, 20 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases on the season. Here's Stephen Chambly out for his second inning of work. Allowed 1 hit back in the first inning. It was a 2-out base knock to Jared Walker. As always, we'll do trivia tonight and give shout-outs to everybody that comments, telling us where they're from. Speaking of, we've got our first one right now. Danny Cobb says, "Go Crabs" from Stiltsville Key, Biscayne. Thanks for tuning in this evening, Danny. 1-1 the count. Crosby from the left side and the pitch. Dribbled to the right side. Nick Longy fields on a high bounce. A covering Stephen Chambly's able to get there in time, stepping on first and securing the ball for out number 1. Zach Collier now steps up to the dish. The only Blue Crab to reach base 2 times in last night's contest. In fact, he reached base twice. The Blue Crabs as a whole only reached base 3 times. Collier had a bunt single in the 8th, also reached on a walk. Train passing the stadium. You can hear the horns going off in the background. Picturesque scene here in Charleston, West Virginia. First pitch to Collier, in there for a called strike. Chambly on the season enters play 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA. He has pitched against the Blue Crabs 1 time this year. It was back on May the 15th. In that game, 5 innings pitched, 1 run as Collier rips one to the right side. A nice try from the right fielder in Angel Garced, but he's unable to get there in time as Collier dives back into first base. He was trying to take a pretty big lead over there at first and kind of got caught out on his front foot. Scott Kelly fired to first and applied the tag. Did Nick Longy for out number 2. It's yet to be seen whether that goes down as a base hit or an error. I think it'd be a base hit, but we'll wait for the official call from the scorer. There it is. It goes down as a single, but nothing to show for it for Southern Maryland. That brings up Joe DeLuca, the 7th batter in the Blue Crabs lineup. DeLuca, the designated hitter here this evening. The switch-hitting catcher by trade steps into the left-handed batter's box and swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. DeLuca, 6'3", 235 pounds, originally from Cicero, New York. Hitting .182 through his first 5 games back with the Blue Crabs here in 2022. A pull shift to the left-handed hitting backstop, and it misses outside. The count evens at a ball and a strike. 1-0 Charleston here in the early going. They played it a run back in the bottom of the first. It was Diego Goris who roped in a line drive single, his 3rd RBI of the series. The 1-1. Off speed, misses inside. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Joe DeLuca began this 2022 season as a member of the Cincinnati Reds organization. Two balls and a strike. Fastball off the plate. The count goes to 3-1. Three balls and a strike, the count. The pitch from Chambly. Fastball in there for a called strike number 2, and we're full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. DeLuca from the left side. And the pitch. Fastball inside, ball number 4. Good eyes from the left-handed hitting Joe DeLuca, who reaches base on a free pass. It's a second Blue Crab to reach base, but Collier was thrown out at first after a big round, and Ryan Haug comes to the plate. Haug, after taking about roughly 2.5 weeks off due to an injury, he played a couple of games in between, but has gone back to resting after each stint. Haug from the right side, a .357 hitter on the year. 13 RBIs for the catcher, who drills one to the left side over the leaping Connor Justice, and it's into left field for a base knock. Certainly a good sign for Southern Maryland. The Blue Crabs already have 3 hits in this game. That's more than they had all night last night. In addition to that, the Blue Crabs have had 4 batters reach base already. That's also more than they saw last night. Ryan Haug comes back with a single, and it leads to Michael Baca. Baca, the shortstop, had a single in last night's contest, riding a 3-game hit streak, and he takes a fastball off the plate for ball number 1. Baca, the 9th hitter in this Blue Crabs lineup, the 5th to come to the plate in this inning. Baca, the shortstop, a sure-gloved middle infielder. A ball and no strikes the count, and the pitch. Off the plate, and it gets away from the catcher. Slowly going back to the ball is Alfredo Gonzalez. Honestly, surprisingly nonchalant. And just like that, Southern Maryland has 2 in scoring position after the pass ball. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Ryan Haug at second, Joe DeLuca at third, and Baca here with a chance to put the Blue Crabs on top early. Baca from the right side, a 176 hitter on the campaign. As a fastball misses inside, ball number 3, and Chambly, who rolled through the first inning, finding some struggles here in the second. After a quick first out, Zach Collier singled but was thrown out. Joe DeLuca walked, and Ryan Haug found himself singling as well. The 3-0 right down Darrell Thompson drive. It's called strike number 1. 3 balls and a strike to Michael Baca. 1-0 Dirty Birds here early. And the pitch. Ripped down the third base line, well foul. And the count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch. Fastball looked like it was outside, but it's called strike number 3. Man, that looked a little bit off the plate from my vantage point. It's called strike 3, and that's how we send things into the bottom of the second. Southern Maryland strands a pair in scoring position. 1-0 Dirty Birds taken to the bottom of the second on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Darrell Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
To the bottom of the second we go. Charleston on top 1-0. Southern Maryland stranded a pair to end their half of the second inning. Andrew Banstra here with you live from Charleston, West Virginia. Giving shout-outs all night. Cassidy Hanley says, "Let's go Blue Crabs." I would tend to agree. Time for our first trivia question of the night. A handful of Atlantic Leaguers this week, 5 of them have headed to MLB organizations. Your trivia question: who is the most recent Blue Crab to be picked up by an MLB organization and then make his MLB debut? Again, who is the last Blue Crab to be picked up by an MLB organization and then make his MLB debut? We'll get to that answer in the bottom half of the third inning. Here we are in the bottom of the second. Charleston on top 1-0 as Alfredo Gonzalez check swings. Home plate umpire says he went around, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. Lamson allowed 1 run back in the first inning, I should say. Also allowed a trio of hits as Gonzalez fouls one down the third base line, turns into a souvenir. Still, no balls and 2 strikes to Alfredo Gonzalez, getting the start behind the dish for the second night in a row. One of 3 catchers on this Dirty Birds roster. The 0-2 once more. Fouled again, and the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. If you include the reserve list, the injured reserve list, they have 4 catchers on their roster. Yovan Gonzalez currently on the reserve list. The 0-2. Down low, did he go? No, he did not, says our first base umpire. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Sun peeking out of the clouds here in the capital of West Virginia. Really a beautiful town just surrounded by mountains. The 1-2 incoming from Mitch Lamson. Inside, ball number 2. Gonzalez, a .273 hitter on the year. A home run to accompany 3 RBIs. The 2-2. Curveball off the plate. We're full. Pitch count a little higher than he'd like for Mitch Lamson to this point. Same can be said for Stephen Chambly. Lamson with 32 pitches through an inning, almost an inning and a third if he has it his way. The pitch, 3-2 inside, bounces in the dirt, and it's ball number 4. First walk of the night for Mitch Lamson. Not somebody who walks all that many batters, but he allows the free pass to lead off the bottom of the second inning, giving way to Angel Garced. one of two Angels in the outfield for the Dirty Birds. They've got Angel Beltre in left and Angel Garcet in right field. Lamson offers a fastball that misses the plate. The count 1-0 to Angel Garcet. The Atlantic League, Garcet's highest level of professional baseball played. A 167 hitter on the year who flies one foul to the right side. Raul Shaw ranging into shallow right field and catching for out number one. Back in the first inning, the Dirty Birds led off with a double from Connor Justice. Quickly, Lamson induced 2 outs, but then a pair of singles led to a run for the Dirty Birds. Scott Kelly up to the dish. Kelly's been hitting really well here in this homestand for the Dirty Birds. Kelly, the second baseman, watches strike number one touch the outside corner. Lamson, the southpaw, working out of the stretch. Off speed, down low. Haug's able to suffocate it in the dirt. And we're even at a ball and a strike. Runner on first stands in the form of Alfredo Gonzalez. The catcher doesn't have too daunting of speed. Southern Maryland trying to even up this series after losing 5-0 last night. Scott Kelly rips one down the third base line. It's fair and in the corner. David Harris gobbles it up in the left field corner, and Michael Baca is able to get the cutoff throw. Not before Scott Kelly reaches second base with a double. Runners on second and third with one away for the Dirty Birds. That brings up Connor Justice. Justice, the shortstop, doubled his first time up, later scored. Curveball from Lamson in there for a called strike. Lamson, 31 years old, has allowed 4 hits so far in the contest. Trying to keep this a one-run game. Swings through a pitch way off the plate, does Connor Justice, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. Lamson able to get him to chase, and he'll try to put him away here. 1 out, runners on second and third. Kelly at second with Alfredo Gonzalez standing at third base. Connor Justice at the dish, a .311 hitter on the season. Mitch on his way home. Slider pounded to third base, a line drive caught in the air. Alex Crosby grabs it, steps on third, and extinguishes the scoring opportunity for the Charleston Dirty Birds. What a play by Alex Crosby. It's 1-0 Charleston as we take it into the top of the third. Nice job at the hot corner. Here we come on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team, the realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41-plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
To the top half of the third we go here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Andrew Banster here with you, live from Charleston, West Virginia. Game 2 of a 4-game set as Stephen Chambly comes out for his third inning of work. First pitch called strike on the outside corner. Braxton Lee back up to the plate for his second time in this contest. The leadoff man grounded out to the second baseman, and Scott Kelly his first time up. Chopper to the right side, Nick Longy fields. Underhand flip to the covering Stephen Chambly records out number 1. Raul Shaw, the next man up to the dish. Had a 9-game hit streak snapped last night. .317 hitter on the season. Stephen Chambly has allowed 3 hits to the Blue Crabs through his first 2 innings of work as Shaw jams one into right center field. Back goes Anthony Seymour, who catches over the shoulder for out number 2. Shout out to a couple more fans watching this evening. Lucky Kale and Tom Hinman and Carol Lucky are in the plate-up watching the game. Thanks so much for tuning in on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Donnie Geeky also tuned in this evening on our YouTube feed. Jared Walker steps up to the dish. Walker singled his first time up. The left-handed hitting first baseman swings and misses at the first pitch he sees, down on the count 0-1. One and one goes the count as a curveball misses upstairs. Jared Walker, a former Los Angeles Dodgers draft pick, played high school baseball with Dalton Geeky, a Blue Crabs reliever. The 1-1. Called strike on the outer edge. A ball and 2 strikes the count to the power-hitting first baseman in Jared Walker. The 1-2. Fastball elevated and off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to number 24. Walker's 7 home runs this season, tied for the 4th most in the Atlantic League. Had 5 of them through his first 9 games of the season. Catcher sets up outside, the 2-2. Sinker off the plate. We're full at 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Both of these pitchers this evening have really had to work to throw a fair amount of pitches. I've already seen a combined 81 pitches, and we're in the top of the third inning. Hands clapping as we got a full count here at Appalachian Power Park. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike number 3 as the Crabs go down in order, and they're half of the third. Take things into the bottom half of the third when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom of the third here in Charleston, West Virginia. Andrew Banster here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, should I say first place Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, continue a 13-game road trip, 5th game of it. Southern Maryland will return to the Reg in Waldorf on June the 7th. The Crabs have been better at home than they have been on the road this year. That may be somewhat of an understatement. Get to that in a moment. Anthony Seymour shows bunt. Jared Walker fields it. Nobody's there to cover. Just a perfectly executed push bunt from Anthony Seymour, who singles down the first base line. Jared Walker was trying to get to the ball so he could tag him in time, but really just well placed. Southern Maryland this year 15-2 at home, but 8-6 on the road. Tomorrow's game will be a 5:05 first pitch, with Monday's game beginning at 1:05. Lamps in the southpaw, facing off against now Juan Perez. Perez grounded out to the shortstop, Michael Baca, in his first time up to the dish. His .354 batting average is tops in the Atlantic League. Another pickoff move not in time. Seymour has good speed, 7 stolen bases on the year. Those 7 swipes, 8th best in the Atlantic League. Lampson issues a fastball that's unable to touch the zone. The southpaw to this point in the game, 2 innings pitched, has allowed 4 hits, 1 run it was earned. Stranded a handful of runners, was able to work out of a jam back in the bottom half of the second inning. Had runners on second and third with no outs, did Lamson. Should say with 1 out. Line shot to the third baseman, Alex Crosby, stepped on third to double up the runner, Alfredo Gonzalez. The Dirty Birds scored 1 run back in the first inning. It was on a Diego Goris RBI single. 2 balls, no strikes from Mitch Lampson. Juan Perez, the third batter in this Dirty Birds lineup, fouls one out of play to the right side. Perez, the designated hitter for these Dirty Birds, hitting over 400 in his last 10 games played. Pickoff move to first once more from Lampson, making sure Anthony Seymour isn't going anywhere. Left on right matchup. Lampson with the pitch. Just off the plate, and the count 3-1. Looks like initially the home plate umpire wanted to call that strike number 2. Your umpiring crew tonight, Andy McPherson at home plate. Rob Massaro at first with Justin Burton at third. Slider inside, ball number 4. And a walk continues this inning for the Dirty Birds. Still no outs, runners at first and second. That brings up Diego Goris, the cleanup man in this Dirty Birds lineup. Has been scorching hot so far in this series. Had a 3-hit game last night, singled his first time up today. 4 for 5 in the series. As a slider catches the outside corner, the count 0-1. Lampson will look back to second. Shaw covers. Fastball misses inside, and the count 1-1. Lampson's allowed a fair amount of base runners tonight. 5 hits, 2 walks, but he's been good with runners in scoring position. The Birds are just 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and they've left 3 on base. 2 on, no outs in the pitch. Downstairs, the count 2-1. To this point in the game for Stephen Chambly, the starter for the Dirty Birds, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, a walk and 2 strikeouts. As Lampson continues into his 3rd inning of action. 2-1 the count. Look back to second in the pitch. Fastball just a touch inside, and the count 3-1. Hitters count, 3 balls and a strike. The pitch, swing and a miss. Ryan Haug thought about a snap throw down to first, but he'll hold it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Goris, the hottest hitter right now in this Dirty Birds lineup. 3 RBIs, a home run, and 4 hits to this point in the series. Lampson, a pickoff move to second, nothing going. Mitch Lampson in his 3rd inning of action, bottom of the 3rd, and the pitch. Fastball just a touch inside, and that's ball number 4. That'll bring Darryl Thompson out of the dugout. The Crabs pitching coach would like to have a word with Mitch Lampson. Mitch Lampson in his 3rd inning of action. As Darryl Thompson, the back-to-back reigning Atlantic League Pitcher of the Year, has a chat with the 2019 American Association Pitcher of the Year. Give you the answer to our trivia question now. The question was, who was the last Blue Crab to have his contract purchased by an MLB organization and go on to make his MLB debut thereafter? The answer, Dustin Knight. Knight currently with the Tampa Bay Rays, one of 3 former Blue Crabs with the Rays right now from that 2018-2019 time frame. Bases juice, no outs as Nick Longy takes the ball downstairs. A single and back-to-back walks load the bases. The 1-0. Fastball in there for a called strike. A ball and a strike the count. A 1-0 Dirty Birds lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hot shot through the left side of the infield. That'll plate at least one. David Harris will come up throwing. The throw right on time and right on the money. That will absolutely do a number to an already energized crowd here at Appalachian Power Park. A dime from David Harris, who guns down Juan Perez, trying to go second to home. Just one away with runners at second and third. And just like last night, you could really say something about the fact that despite a lot of base runners and a fair amount of hits, 2-0 doesn't look so bad right now if you're a Southern Maryland fan. First pitch swinging is Angel Beltre back in right center field. Zach Collier won't have a chance at home, so he throws to the cutoff man and Michael Baca, and it goes down as a sacrifice fly. 3-0, Charleston on top here in the bottom of the 3rd. Six hits for the Dirty Birds in this game have given them 3 runs. Lampson trying to strand another runner. The pitch. Big sweeping off speed, misses inside. Fastball inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Lampson, the southpaw, issues a fastball right there for strike number 1. Alfredo Gonzalez, the man at the dish. He walked his first time up. Lampson with a runner on third. 2 away. Beautiful off speed has Beltre make that Gonzalez way out in front of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There it is, a called strike 3. Lampson is able to escape any further danger, but the Dirty Birds strand 1 and plate 2 in their half of the 3rd. 3-0 the score. We're a third of the way through this one on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team, the realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41-plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs. Did you know that the Washington, D.C. metro area is the 5th most expensive place to live in the entire United States of America? Sometimes finding affordable housing in this area can feel impossible. If you're struggling to find affordable housing, look no further than the Villages of St. Charles by Ross Properties. You can visit them online at villagesatstcharles.com for more information today. Villages of St. Charles, they'll have you safe at home.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
4-5-6 due up for Southern Maryland as we enter the middle third of this contest. David Harris leads things off for Southern Maryland here in the top of the fourth. Harris last night lost an 18-game on-base streak, one of the longest in Blue Crabs franchise history. He also had a 15-game hit streak earlier in this season. That's the second longest in Blue Crabs franchise history, trailing only the man on deck and Alex Crosby, who did so last year. 1 ball, 1 strike to David Harris as Stephen Chambly works into his 4th inning of action. High chopper to the third baseman in Diego Goris, who fields and fires and records out number 1. That brings up the 5th hitter in the Blue Crabs lineup. It's Alex Crosby. The aforementioned Crosby had a 17-game hit streak last year, also had a 10-game hit streak in the 2021 season. The second-year Blue Crab steps up to the dish. Crosby 7 for 15 against the Dirty Birds this year. High fly to the right side, and the bloopers able to land into right field. A base hit single for Alex Crosby. He is now 8 for 16 against the Dirty Birds this year. Fourth hit of the game for the Blue Crabs. Collier sees the first pitch. It's a called strike outside. The left-handed hitting Zach Collier. Swings and lofts this one out of play. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Collier wears number 8 on the back of his jersey. From the left side, the 0-2 from Stephen Chambly. Way high and outside, and it's ball number 1. Collier, the center fielder for Southern Maryland, sees the 1-2. It's a curveball, swung on and missed for strike number 3. "3-0, Dirty Birds on top here in the top half of the 4th inning. Joe DeLuca steps into the left-handed batter's box and watches ball number 1 miss. DeLuca, a second-year Blue Crab in his 6th season of professional baseball. Had a 16-game hit streak to end the regular season last year. Fastball. Just touches the outer edge. Ball and a strike the count. Joe enters play as a 182 hitter on the year. Walked his first time up. Southern Maryland still looking for their first run of this series. 3-0 the score. Charleston on top. Curveball in there for a called strike, and we're at 1-2. DeLuca, the switch hitting catcher, the designated hitter for Southern Maryland tonight. And the 1-2. Well struck into the Bud Light party deck in right field, and we'll stay at a ball and 2 strikes. In DeLuca's final 16 games of last season, he finished 26 for 54 at the plate, hitting at a .481 clip, leading the Atlantic League in that time span. The 1-2. Going the other way with it, likely gets foul though, and does. And DeLuca trying to find that happy medium now. Ripped one foul to the right side before lofting one foul to the left. Joe wears number 10 on the back of his Southern Maryland jersey. Wore number 17 last year for the Blue Crabs. Joe DeLuca from the left side. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Here comes the pitch. Fastball just off the outer edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the switch hitting Joe DeLuca. Joe caught 115 games for the Blue Crabs last year, a career high by nearly 100 games. DeLuca awaiting the 2-2 offering. Dribbler up the middle, he'll try to leg it out. The third baseman gets in the way of Connor Justice. The fire across the infield, though, in time. That play at third was irrelevant as the third out was recorded at first base. A 6-3 putout brings us into the bottom half of the 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over Or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by Alpine and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Take you into this bottom of the fourth inning. I'm going to turn the crowd mic up just a little bit at some points during this half inning because these Dirty Birds are doing a really interesting promotion. Their public address announcer is going to be inhaling helium. Listen to this. He's inhaling helium every time before he says the batter's name. We'll keep the crowd mic up. What a fun promotion here on a Saturday night. Mitch Lampson's first pitch of the fourth inning into right field. Braxton Lee in, and he catches for out number one. Here's the crowd mic. What a fun promotion. Comment if you think we should try that at the Reg. I know my good friend Stevie Bowen, the public address announcer for our Blue Crabs, would be, I think he'd be game for it. In fact, I know he would be. First pitch to the next batter in Scott Kelly misses a touchdown low. A ball and no strikes the count. Kelly, the ninth hitter in this Dirty Birds lineup, doubled his first time up. Watches a fastball just missed this time. The 2-0 in there for a called strike. Scott Kelly has been on fire in his last couple of games. Hitting 7 for 17 at the dish in this homestand. 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer. And stays hot here as he rips one through the third base side, right in the 5.5 hole. It's down for a single. I'd like to know, what the reasoning for the helium is. Honestly, there doesn't need to be a reason because, hey, it's minor league baseball. This is fun. This is what we do. But I am wondering if there's some sort of connection or if it was just kind of a fun promotion. Either way, I love it. I'm all about the fun stuff, especially at the Reg in Waldorf. Connor Justice up to the dish. First pitch swinging, fouls it to the right side. Speaking of promotions, we've got some really fun ones coming up in Waldorf. On June 18th, we have our Juneteenth night presented by the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center. That'll be a really, really fun night. We'll have a couple of former Negro Leaguers out to the game. In addition to a traveling museum, we'll also be rebranding as the Baltimore Elite Giants on that night. That next Saturday, we'll be giving away a Matt Latos t-shirt jersey to the first 1,000 fans through the gate. This one ripped into right center field. Back goes Zach Collier, getting near the track and catching for out number 2. What a snag by the Southern Maryland center fielder to rob Connor Justice of extra bases. Crowd mic once more.
Now batting center fielder number 9, Anthony Seymour.
Gotta love minor league baseball, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love minor league baseball. Andrew Banstra here with you on a Saturday night, and as always, there's nowhere that I'd rather be than right here with you on the airwaves, giving you Blue Crabs baseball. Nothing quite like it. Runner goes on the pitch. Ryan Haug with a fire to second, and Scott Kelly is not even close. A dart from Ryan Haug guns down the second baseman, and Scott Kelly to put 4 innings to bed here in Charleston, West Virginia. Top of the 5th on the way when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Take things into the top of the 5th here at Appalachian Power Park. Andrew Banstra here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Top of the 5th, 3-0, Dirty Birds on top. Charleston in their second year in the Atlantic League. Both the Blue Crabs and the Dirty Birds did not win the first half of the 2021 season, but came back to make a playoff run. Explaining the Atlantic League playoffs once more, it can be a little bit confusing at first glance. Basically, there's 2 divisions in the Atlantic League, the North and the South. There's also 2 halves in the Atlantic League season, the first half and the second half. The winner of each division in each half will head to the playoffs, and that's what Southern Maryland and Charleston did at the end of last season, as Ryan Haug is hit by a pitch, and man, you just got to feel bad for this guy. He gets hit by pitches almost every game that he plays in, and when he's not playing of late, it's because he was dealing with an injury. He's taken a beating this season, but he's one of those guys that's able to overcome it. Nonetheless, it's a leadoff runner for Southern Maryland in the form of Ryan Haug, and it brings up the 9th batter in the Blue Crabs lineup as Michael Baca steps up to the dish. First hit by pitch we've seen so far in this series as the shortstop mans the right-handed batter's box. First pitch swinging, high shot into shallow left field. In comes Angel Beltre, who snags it with one hand for out number 1. That flips the lineup back to the top. Braxton Lee will come up to the dish. Lee with a couple of groundouts to this point in the contest. A .241 hitter in the 2022 season. Lee, 5'10", 185 pounds, originally from Mississippi. Started the 2021 season as a member of the Blue Crabs, did the MLB veteran, but after just 4 games, the left-handed hitting outfielder had his contract purchased by the Cincinnati Reds. Spent most of the season with the AAA affiliate with the Louisville Bats. First pitch to Lee, a called strike off the outer edge. No balls and a strike the count. Lee played baseball at Ole Miss. Made his MLB debut in 2018 as he rips one to the left side. Angel Beltre's got a run, and he makes a leaping catch. Good opposite field power from Braxton Lee, but nothing to show for it on the score sheet as back-to-back flyouts to the left fielder in Angel Beltre spell 2 outs for Southern Maryland in the top half of the 5th. Raul Shaw, now the man to the dish, trying to sacrifice, make that salvage this inning for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who trail 3-0. Lost game 1 last night at the hands of these Dirty Birds. 5-0 was the final score as Shaw digs into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch swinging, a grounder to the left side. Diego Goris fields and throws to the covering second baseman for a force out. The third of the inning, and we're halfway through this one in Charleston. 3-0, Dirty Birds on top. Mitch Lampson back on the mound when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team. The realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41-plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs. Did you know that the Washington, D.C. metro area is the 5th most expensive place to live in the entire United States of America? Sometimes finding affordable housing in this area can feel impossible. If you're struggling to find affordable housing, look no further than the Villages of St. Charles by Ross Properties. You can visit them online at villagesatstcharles.com for more information today. Villages of St. Charles. They'll have you safe at home.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom of the 5th here at Charleston, West Virginia. I should say in Charleston, West Virginia. Here at Appalachian Power Park, Andrew Banstra on the call. Game 2 of a 4-game set right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Mitch Lampson finds himself 5 innings deep into this contest. And he'll start off the 5th inning against Anthony Seymour. First pitch swinging is Seymour. He's got good speed. Crosby fields, fires, and gets Seymour in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mitch Lampson. Lampson allowed a handful of base runners in both the first and third innings. but has settled down since, having set down 6 straight Dirty Birds. There was runners on second and third with no outs, and then the bases were juiced with no outs. The Dirty Birds only got 2 runs out of that back in the third inning, and they've got a 3-0 lead over the Crabs. Third hitter in the Birds lineup comes in the form of Juan Perez. Perez 0 for 1 today, also walked in this contest. Mentioned that bases loaded, no out situation. Perez was actually on second when that happened. Tried to advance to home on a base hit, but David Harris said not today and gunned him down at home. No balls, 2 strikes. Lampson working quickly here in the 5th. Trying to get him to chase. Nothing going for the left-hander. Lampson out of the windup. Line drive, straightaway center, but right at Zach Collier. Good piece of hitting from Juan Perez, but he goes down. 2 away. That brings up Diego Goris, the hottest man in this series to this point. He's 4 for 5 at the plate with a home run and 3 RBIs. Singled in a run his first time up, walked and later scored back in the 3rd inning. Goris, a .297 hitter on the season, and the pitch. Has him way off balance, does Mitch Lampson, giving him the cheddar. No balls and a strike the count. Lampson, glove in front of the face, working out of the windup. The pitch. Jams him up over towards right field. Braxton Lee ranging in and catching for out number 3. How about less than 10 pitches for Mitch Lampson here in the 5th? Let's take things to the 6th right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is Andrew Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
3-4-5 due up for Southern Maryland's only professional sports team here on a Saturday night in Charleston, West Virginia. Generally, the Atlantic League takes Mondays off, but it's Memorial Day weekend, so we've got a 4-game set here at Appalachian Power Park. Jared Walker leads things off and swings over the first pitch he sees to start off the top of the 6th inning. Walker 1 for 2 so far today, singled back in the first and struck out in the third. Walker, a power-hitting first baseman, as he fouls one over our heads. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. Walker, a former 5th-round draft pick by the Dodgers, spent 6 years in the Dodgers organization, peaking at the high A level with the Hickory Crawdads. A .235 hitter on the year is Jared Walker. Sees a sinker sink a little bit too much, and it just gets outside the strike zone. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Stephen Chambly into his 6th inning of action. So far, 5 innings, has allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts in a scoreless game. Walker swings over a big looping 12-6 curveball and goes down on strikes, the first out of this 6th inning. The Crabs mustered just 2 hits in last night's loss. It was a 5-0 Dirty Birds win. Southern Maryland, though, comfortably in first place in the Atlantic League North Division, 8 games up on the Lancaster Barnstormers, thanks to a 23-8 record on the season for Southern Maryland. First pitch, David Harris sees is a curveball high and inside. It misses, the count 1-0. The Dirty Birds had been struggling coming into this series. Another curveball high and tight. It misses once more. Charleston, despite winning last night, 3-7 in their last 10. This pitch misses way outside, and we're at 3 balls and no strikes. .3-0 right down Darrell Thompson drive, but Harris takes all the way. Number 17, Stephen Chambly, 5 1/3 into this game. Action in the Dirty Birds bullpen. Last night, Billy Horn didn't want his starter going any deeper than 6th, and that appears to be the case once more here this evening, despite a scoreless effort to this point from both tonight and last night's Dirty Birds starters. Payoff pitch inbound. Line drive to the right side, but Scott Kelly's there, and he catches for out number 2. Good job by Chambly to work back in that count. He was down 3-0 before issuing a couple of strikes. And then the soft liner to the second baseman, Kelly, spells the second out of the top of the 6th. Here's Alex Crosby. Crosby, number 15 on the back of his Navy Southern Maryland jersey. 2 away in the top of the 6th. First pitch in there for a called strike. Andrew Banstra here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network, doing what I love doing the most, bringing you Blue Crabs baseball. Folks, there is nothing in the world I'd rather be doing. Crosby sees a 58-foot slider bounce in front of the plate. A ball and a strike to count. Alex, one of the more consistent hitters in Southern Maryland's lineup, and now for one reason or another, we're going to see a meeting of the minds behind the dish as our three umpires will converge and have a conversation. Not exactly sure what exactly the conversation consisted of, but nothing has changed. We're right back, and the count remains at a ball and a strike. The 1-1, Crosby fires one down the first base line into the Dirty Birds bullpen, but it's foul and the count 1-2. Alex played for Team Great Britain in the European Baseball Classic back in 2021. Missed about 3 weeks in September before returning for the playoffs. 1-2. On its way. Chasing an elevated fastball, and Crosby goes down on strikes. Top of the sixth has come and gone, and we take things in to the bottom half when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by, and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Nick Longy leads things off. Here we are in the bottom of the sixth inning. Andrew Banster here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network, live from Charleston, West Virginia, as your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs continue Game 5 of a 13-game road trip. Easily the longest of the season for Southern Maryland to this point, who spent a majority of their time at home. The Crabs 15-2 at home, 8-6 on the road this season. Nick Longy leads things off from the right side. First pitch right there for a called strike number one. Longy got the game off yesterday, but is 2 for 2 to start this contest. A pair of singles, one of which included an RBI. No balls, 2 strikes as Mitch Lampson continues here in the sixth inning of action. He's settled into a groove as this game has continued. Off speed down low, and it misses. Trying to get him to chase, but no bite from Longy. Lamson out of the windup. The 1-2 on its way. Fastball elevated off the plate. Packed crowd here tonight in Charleston, West Virginia. A beautiful night for baseball. The 2-2. Just a touch inside. Couldn't have been much closer, but Lamson does not get the benefit of the doubt, and we're full at 3-2. The southpaw out of the windup. The payoff pitch inbound. Just a touch high and outside, and that's ball number 4. No action in Southern Maryland's bullpen, but right as I say that, Darryl Thompson is going to look down to his bullpen and tell him to get going. Angel Beltre, the man up to the dish, a runner at first. And the pitch right there for a called strike number 1. As I believe it's Nick Wells who starts throwing. I beg your pardon, it is not. We'll get you a number on the right-hander up and throwing in the Crabs bullpen as soon as possible. Swing and a miss from Beltre. It's Patrick Baker up and warming in Southern Maryland's bullpen. One of Stan Clyburn's top options. Curveball lofted into shallow left field. In comes David Harris. And a dive from Michael Baca. What a play from the shortstop. One of the best that you'll see all season long. And folks, I can't apologize enough for that catch right there, not getting on our camera. The angle we're working with is not so ideal. But let me tell you, if that doesn't end up on SportsCenter's top 10, not quite sure what will. Michael Baca with a web gem to be put in the scrapbook. What a play from the shortstop. One out here in the bottom of the 6th. And the pitch. Off speed, misses the zone, and the count 1-0. Small lead off of first, and this one misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes the count. The man at the plate in Alfredo Rodriguez. The 2-0 from Lamson. In there for a called strike. To this point of the game, Alfredo Gonzalez 0 for 1. He walked and struck out. The pitch. Check swing. They're going to say he did go around in the count 2-2. Gonzalez, a .250 hitter on the year. A home run, 3 RBIs on the campaign. Two balls, 2 strikes. Big curveball in there for a called strike 3, and Gonzalez knew it right away. Two away, bottom of the 6th action here in Charleston, West Virginia. Mitch Lamson works into the 6th. He allowed 1 run back in the bottom half of the 1st inning. That was on an RBI single from Diego Goris. The Birds added another pair in the 3rd. Nothing to show for it since. Lamson on his way home with a fastball that misses high. Angel Garced up to the dish, a 158 hitter on the season. Nick Longy led off this bottom of the 6th inning. Is on a base on balls and still stands on first. Elevated fastball, the count 2-0. A gorgeous night for baseball here at Appalachian Power Park. 2 balls, no strikes. Lamson a look to first. The pitch in there for a called strike. Mitch Lamson, 31-year-old southpaw, originally from California, has played as high as the AAA level and was the 2019 American Association Pitcher of the Year. Swing and a miss, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two, runner on first with 2 away. Fastball in there, called strike, back-to-back Ks for Mitch Lamson. Put us at 2/3 of the way through this contest. Top of the 7th on deck when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is Andrew Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
We take you into the top of the 7th. Clutch pitching and stellar defense keep this at a 3-0 deficit for Southern Maryland. The Crabs' bats came out hot. They had 4 hits through the first 2 innings, but they haven't collected one since. What they have done is they've knocked Stephen Chambly out of the game. Chambly started this game for the Dirty Birds. The right-hander finished 6 innings of action, allowing 4 hits, no runs, bringing in Francisco Carrillo into this contest. Carrillo making his first appearance in this series. Has appeared in 4 games, pitching 4 1/3 innings. No runs, 5 hits allowed for the right-hander. As Collier drills one into right center, back goes Anthony Seymour to the track and catches it over his shoulder. That's the second time tonight Seymour has stolen extra bases from these Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Joe DeLuca now up to the dish. DeLuca 0 for 1 today. Walked in his first time up before grounding out to the shortstop last time. 1 out here in the top half of the 7th inning as the smell of burnt toast fills the air here in Charleston. Get to that in a moment. Really long fly ball to the left side, but it hangs up a little bit too much. Angel Beltre gets under it and catches for out number 2. Now, of course, in Southern Maryland, we have Ron Lord, the tie-dye guy, and if you don't know him, he is our on-field host. In Charleston, they have somebody similar. It's the Toast Man, Rod Blackstone. Actually, Ken Blackstone's uncle. That's not a joke, a former Blue Crabs uncle. Small world, but his thing is he burns toast and throws it out to the fans. I'm not quite sure where exactly it comes from, but it's a fun promotion. He does it here every night and is kind of the hype man for this team. Top of the 7th action, 0-1 the count to Ryan Haug. Haug singled his first time up, was hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning. Patrick Baker continues to warm in Southern Maryland's bullpen, as does Dalton Geeky. One, 3-0 Dirty Birds on top in the top of the 7th. Francisco Carrillo on his way home. Haug takes it inside, and the count 2-1. Ryan Haug has been a menace at the dish this year. A .372 batting average for the catcher. Can't ask for much more. He's also thrown out a runner tonight. Pull shift a little bit in the infield. 2 balls and a strike. Carrillo on the way home. Changeup upstairs, just clipping the top of the strike zone. 2-2 the count. Two balls, 2 strikes. Haug staying alive as he fouls one out of play. Ryan Haug, 6'1", 191 pounds, originally from California. Peaked at the high A level. Two balls, 2 strikes once more. Elevated fastball misses. Here's your next trivia question here in the top of the 7th. Haug played for the Chicago Dogs last year, meaning that his manager was what former Blue Crabs manager? Played for the Chicago Dogs last year. His manager was what former Blue Crabs manager? Not to mention his pitching coach was Stu Clyburn. The pitch, staying alive. Couldn't get him away on the 3-2, and that's where we'll stay. Should have said his assistant coach. Payoff pitch, inbound from Francisco Carrillo. The right-hander set at the belt. On the way. Comes up and hits Haug once more, and it's getting to be unbelievable how often Ryan Haug gets hit by a pitch. The second time in this game alone that he's been hit by a pitch. Hasn't played in all that many games, but folks, I would not be surprised if he's handily in the top 5 in the Atlantic League in hit by pitches this season. Checking on that right now for you as Michael Baca steps into the right-handed batter's box trying to keep this inning going. Anyway on for Ryan Haug, who's reached base all 3 times in this game. And unfortunately for Ryan Haug, I was right about that. Haug has been hit by 11 pitches this year, despite missing over 10 games this season. Twice so far in this game. That's the most an Atlantic Leaguer has been hit this year. No balls and a strike to Michael Baca. Next pitch, line drive right up the middle. How about it? The Crabs are in business here in the top of the 7th after a hit by pitch and a base hit single. Put 2 on with 2 down. Brings up the tying run to the plate in the form of Braxton Lee. Lee 0 for 3 so far today. The MLB veteran steps into his left-handed batter's box. Braxton has found struggles in this road trip. He's hitless in 14 attempts. Has reached base 3 times on a trio of walks. And he'll try to stop all that right here. And there's no question, if you're Stan Clyburn, that you have the faith that Braxton Lee will start putting together the offensive numbers that his career tells you that he will. Did so with the Blue Crabs last year. A vote of confidence putting him in the first spot in the batting order here tonight from Stan Clyburn. First pitch right there for a called strike number 1. No balls and a strike the count. Lee from the left side wears number 13 on the back of his Southern Maryland Navy jersey. The 0-1 ripped foul out of play to the left side. Awaiting on deck is Raul Shaw, should we get there. Jared Walker in the hole. The pitch swung on and missed as Braxton Lee goes down on strikes. That's how we bring it into the 7th inning stretch. Make sure you get a chance to stretch those legs out, grab something to eat and something to drink. We'll be right back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Scott Kelly leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Hopefully you were able to grab something to eat and maybe even something to wash it down with, stretch those legs, because we're ready for the bottom of the seventh. Mitch Lampson back out for the seventh inning of action, and the left-hander starts off Scott Kelly with a strike called. Lampson nearing his third time through the lineup. The ninth hitter in the Dirty Birds lineup, Scott Kelly up to the dish. Nubs this one off the inside of his bat. Shouldn't be a problem for Michael Baca, who catches with one hand and retires out number one. Connor Justice digs into the right-handed batter's box as action continues in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Curveball in there for a called strike to start off Connor Justice. The Dirty Birds plated one run in the bottom of the first on a Diego Goris RBI single. Plated another pair in the third when Nick Longy and Angel Beltre teamed up for a pair of RBIs. But that's all the scoring we've seen so far in this contest. At this point in last night's game, the score was also 3-0 Dirty Birds. They would go on to win the contest 5-0. Lampson on his way home. The 0-1, an elevated fastball swung on and missed, and the left-hander has done a fantastic job changing speed and location. Lampson, the 1-2. Softly hit off the end of the bat into foul territory, and Jared Walker runs out of room. A look across the Atlantic League here this evening. Already in the bottom of the ninth are the High Point Rockers and the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. The Rockers lead the Ferry Hawks by a score of 4-1. In the bottom of the sixth on Long Island, the Gastonia Honey Hunters doubling up the Ducks 6-3. And in the War of the Roses, the Revs on top of the Lancaster Barnstormers by a score of 3-1 in the top of the ninth. Both the Genomes and the Legends have the weekend off. They'll play doubleheaders on Monday and Tuesday. The 2-2 on its way from Lampson. Smacked foul once more, and we'll stay at 2-2 strikes. The pitch count for Lampson was was high in the start of the game, but he's been able to be awfully efficient with his pitches as this game's gone on. Pitch number 100 of the game, inbound for Lampson. Inside just barely, and it's called ball number 3. Payoff pitch on its way from Mitch Lampson. The left-hander sees a nubber off the end of the bat. It gets a little deeper than it looked like it might have originally, and it goes down as out number 2. We do have a defensive substitution into this game. In place of David Harris in left field, Matt Hibbert now mans left field. Harris out of this game. You know, one of the MLB Atlantic League rule changes this year is the double hook rule, saying that if a pitcher doesn't make it at least 5 innings, you don't get to keep your DH, but that hasn't come into play for the Blue Crabs. Here we are in game number 31 of the season, and every game the pitcher's gone at least 5 innings. Strike one issued to Anthony Seymour, who's 1 for 3 with a run scored in this game. Here comes Mitch with the 0-1. Slider right back up the middle, and Lampson snatches it out of thin air. What a play by the pitcher to get us through 7 innings of baseball. When we come back, the Crabs have some work to do right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
So what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home, whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland.
Raul Shaw leads things off here in the top half of the 8th inning. It's 2-3-4 due up for the Blue Crabs. It'll be Shaw, Jared Walker, and Matt Hibbert. And a newcomer into the game for these Charleston Dirty Birds. It'll be a southpaw on the hill. Taking the mound for the Birds is Ryan Lawler, 6'1", 185 pounds, out of Michigan originally. The left-hander sees an 0-1 count to Raul Shaw. Shaw fouls the next pitch out of play, and the count 0-2. Still warming in the Blue Crabs bullpen, it was Patrick Baker, and now it's Andres Briseño up and throwing. Stan Clyburn thinking about turning to his top options in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2 to Shaw. High and tight, and it misses. Shaw from the right side, the count 1-2. Here comes Lawler. Fouled away into the Blue Crabs dugout. The numbers for Lawler on the year: a 5.28 ERA, the highest among Dirty Birds that have appeared so far in this contest. Shaw waiting from the right side. The 1-2. Chopped foul once more, and just fighting to stay alive is the second baseman, Raul Shaw. Now, Ryan Lawler really excelled at the start of the season. Through his first 8 appearances, he allowed just a handful of runs, but has really struggled of late. In his last 3 appearances, spanning 3 1/3 innings, he's allowed a fair amount of runs. How about 6 of them? As Raul Shaw fights to stay alive once more, he's not going to go down without a fight. The darkness finally setting in here in Charleston. The time 8:54 here in this top of the 8th inning. Andrew Banster here with you on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network, live from Charleston, West Virginia. The 1-2 fouled off once more, and Raul Shaw is going to make Ryan Lawler work in his first batter faced here this evening. The Crabs have 5 hits in this game compared to 7 from the Dirty Birds. No errors from either side, and a 3-0 Charleston lead here in the top of the 8th. Shaw waiting the 1-2 once more. Gets a piece of it again and out of play once more. What a battle from Raul Shaw, who will not go down without a fight. We've only seen sliders and fastballs so far from Ryan Lawler. Pitch number 7 of this at-bat incoming. The count's still 1-2. On his way, Shaw rips one into center field. Anthony Seymour right under it and catches for out number 1. That brings up Jared Walker. Walker 1 for 3 so far in the contest. A pair of strikeouts for the left-handed hitting first baseman. He singled back in the first inning. The Crabs have just 1 hit since the second inning of action. It was a Michael Baca single in the 7th. Southern Maryland picked up 4 hits and 5 base runners in the first 2 innings. Fastball in there for a called strike number 1. Jared Walker, a Powder Springs, Georgia native. Back into his left-handed batter's box. And the pitch. Fouled back into the protective netting, and the count 0-2. Walker 3 for 14 on this road trip. Has a home run and a pair of RBIs to show for it. Nobody on, 1 away in the top of the 8th. The 0-2. Well struck, but it'll be a little too high into the lights from the first baseman, and nobody's going to catch this baseball. It got lost in the lights, and the left fielder in Angel Beltre just had to give up on it. He couldn't find it, and he ran away from the ball, and just like that, Jared Walker picks up a double. The 6th hit of the game for the Blue Crabs as Matt Hibbert steps into the right-handed batter's box. 2 for 4 today is Jared Walker, and he stands in scoring position. Matt Hibbert, the pinch hitter here for Southern Maryland. Hibbert wears number 4 on the back of his jersey, a second-year Blue Crab. Trying to get something stirring up here in the top of the 8th inning. Southern Maryland was gifted a double, and now Ryan Lawler has to step off to recollect his thoughts. In fact, he'll call up Alfredo Gonzalez to discuss pitch calls with a runner on second base. So it's Hibbert at the plate. Alex Crosby awaits on deck with Zach Collier in the hole. Hibbert from the right side. Attended Long Beach State before his now 11-year professional baseball career. Hibbert from the right side awaiting Lawler's pitch. It will step off once more. The third pitcher in this game for the Dirty Birds. The Crabs have had runners in scoring position. Back in the second inning, they had runners on second and third, but nothing to show for it. Hibbert takes a curveball inside, and it's ball number one. Make that strike number one, I should say. And now it's Dalton Geekie warming up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. He and Patrick Baker have been throwing this evening, as well as Endris Perseño. Another curveball swung on and missed, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Alex Crosby awaits on deck. He singled back in the 4th inning. A look back to second. Lawler, 3 looks, and now the pitch. Another curveball hit well to the left side. This one's got a chance. Back goes Angel Beltre at the wall, and he's able to pull it down. That one had home run distance, but was pulled back just at the last second. A nice play by the left fielder, Angel Beltre. Just a couple of inches shy for making this a 1-run game was Matt Hibbert. Runner advanced to third on the play as Jared Walker now stands 90 feet away from what could be the first Blue Crabs run of this series. Here's Alex Crosby stepping up to the dish. Crosby, a .284 hitter on the season, singled back in the 4th inning on a soft line drive to right field. Lawler on his way home out of the stretch. First pitch outside, it's ball number 1. Top of the 8th inning, Charleston on top of your Blue Crabs. 3-0 the score. The 1-0 in the dirt, but suffocated by the catcher and Alfredo Gonzalez. The count now 2 balls, no strikes. A hitter's count for Alex Crosby. 20 RBIs on the campaign through 31 games of the season. Game number 32 right here this evening. Tomorrow will be the quarter point of the season, if you can believe it. Left-on-left matchup, the 2-0 high and away, and now 3 balls and no strikes. This season has just flown by. 132 games in the campaign in total. 3-0 on its way from Lawler. Fastball dots the outer edge. Crosby watching all the way. And the count now a hitter's count once more. 3 balls and a strike. Crosby, number 15 on the back of his jersey, digs into the left-handed batter's box. Left-on-left matchup and the pitch once more. 3-1, a called strike, and now we're full at 3-2. Jared Walker stands at third base, representing what could be the first run of this contest for Southern Maryland. Making noise here in Charleston. The payoff pitch on its way from Lawler. Crosby fighting to stay alive. 7 pitches won't get the job done against tonight's third baseman for your Blue Crabs. Make sure and buy your tickets now for Southern Maryland's next home game. We've got a while until it takes place, but it'll be on June 7th against the Long Island Ducks, a 3-game set. The 3-2 once more on its way from Lawler. Curveball up high, and it's ball number 4. That'll put runners on the corners for Southern Maryland with the ever-present threat that is Zach Collier coming up to the plate. Runners at first and third. Couple of corner infielders on the corners. Jared Walker, the first baseman, stands on third. And Alex Crosby, the third baseman, stands on first. Collier, in my opinion, had a very strong case to be the Atlantic League offensive MVP last season. Finished top 3 in on-base percentage and slugging percentage. First pitch, Zach sees. He fouls over our heads here in the press box. No balls and a strike the count. The tying run stands in the left-handed batter's box here in the top half of the 8th inning for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Collier from the left side. Lawler on his way home with his 0-1. Zach rips it to the right side. That could be extra bases. What will definitely get 1 run home. Crosby goes from first to third, and the Crabs are on the board for the first time in this series. Southern Maryland shaves the Dirty Birds' lead down to just 2 runs on an RBI single from Zach Collier. And that'll bring out Joe Testa, the pitching coach for this Charleston Dirty Birds team. Southern Maryland comfortably in first place in the Atlantic League North Division. 8 games up on the Lancaster Barnstormers. The Crabs have lost 4 of their last 5, though, after starting this season 22-4. Southern Maryland won each of their first 9 series of the season. And if they can't pull a win together tonight, it will secure at least a tie in this series. Last series the Crabs played in was a series loss on Long Island. They won Game 1, did the Ducks, before the Crabs got one in Game 2. The series finale went to Long Island, and now down 0-1 in the series. The Crabs have got some work to do. Tying run stands on first base in the form of Zach Collier, who has good speed but has not stolen a base in this 2022 season. Joe DeLuca, the man at the dish. First pitch he sees. Check swing, home plate ump says he went around. 0-1 to count. DeLuca 0 for 2 today. He walked in his first plate appearance. Batting from the right side for the first time in this game is the switch hitting catcher who plays DH today. Lawler on his way. Ripped foul from Joe DeLuca, and the count 0-2. 3-1, Charleston on top here in the top of the 8th inning. Southern Maryland finally getting a runaround for the first time in this series. Last night, the Dirty Birds out-hit the Blue Crabs 10-2. This evening, both sides with exactly 7 hits here in this top half of the 8th inning. The 0-2 on its way to DeLuca. Downstairs and in the dirt. It misses for ball number 1. Pitcher Lawler requests a new baseball. Has allowed the Blue Crabs to get within 2 runs. Joe DeLuca trying to trim that lead even more. Walker at third, Crosby at first. The 1-2 from Lawler. Curveball downstairs, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Folks, that's a whole lot of 2s we've got right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, and a 2-run deficit. Southern Maryland is chasing here in this top of the 8th inning. Can Joe DeLuca play hero here in Charleston, West Virginia on a Saturday evening? The 2-2. Well struck, but well out of play, and we'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you, these Blue Crabs have really made Lawler work out there on the mound. Ryan Lawler's already thrown 24 pitches in this game. Should say in this inning. This is first inning of action, and the 2-2 once more on its way to Joe DeLuca. Swung on and missed. The Crabs go down on strikes and strand 2. Southern Maryland, though, gets one across in the top of the 8th inning on a Zach Collier RBI single, and that's how we take things into the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Dalton Geeky, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Dalton Geeky welcomes himself into this contest. That means the end of the road for Mitch Lampson, who really pitched a fantastic game. Allowed 11 base runners, but only 3 of them scored in 7 innings. The left-hander, who's in line for the loss, had a quality start. That brings up Dalton Geeky. Geeky, so far in this 2022 campaign, finds himself with a 3.09 ERA. In 12 appearances, he's allowed 4 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, and 11 2/3 innings for Dalton Geeky. Last appearance was back on May the 24th against the Long Island Ducks. He went 1 inning, allowing a hit, and no runs to show for it. Geeky inherits the meat of the order for this Charleston Dirty Birds lineup. It's Juan Perez, Diego Goris, and Nick Longy leading things off. Tip the cap to Mitch Lampson for a fantastic outing. He allowed 1 run in the first inning. That was a Diego Goris RBI single. Before, in the 3rd inning, the Birds added another pair. Southern Maryland trimmed that lead back in the bottom of, make that the top of the 8th, last frame, on a Zach Collier RBI single. 1-1 goes the count from Dalton Geeky. Geeky, a high school teammate of Southern Maryland's first baseman, Jared Walker. Number 32 back onto the mound, and the pitch. Right back into the protective netting to count 1-2. Dalton, a former Chicago Cubs farmhand, as well as a member of the Braves organization. Fastball elevated, evens us up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year, Geeky was fantastic as well for Southern Maryland. Held a 3.22 ERA and was a pivotal part of Southern Maryland's playoff run. The 2-2 on its way to Perez. Swung on and missed as Dalton Geeky fans the right-handed hitting Perez for out number 1. Geeky showing his stuff here this evening. Geeky, the right-hander, one of my favorite players to watch. Almost has a quasi-Craig Kimbrell look to the catcher, and that he kind of wings up that elbow a little bit with an open stance. About an eighth of the way to a Kimbrell in that regard. 1 away. And the count 1-0 to Diego Goris. Goris 2 for 3 today, 4 for 6 in the series. Fastball right back up the middle. A line drive hits off Geeky's glove. He dives, throws to first, and it's not in time. And Geeky coming up in pain after that line drive hit him off the hand. That may require Lauren Eck to come out and speak with Dalton Geeky. Nearly out number 2, but it goes down as a base hit single. Goris now 3 for 4 in the contest. Here in the capital of West Virginia. Good crowd on hand at Appalachian Power Park. And Geeky has already thrown the fastest pitch of this entire game. Had a 94-mile-an-hour fastball earlier in this inning that's the tops in this contest as Nick Longy swings through the first pitch he sees. Longy 2 for 2, also walked in this contest. Bottom of the 8th action, Southern Maryland protecting a 3-1 deficit. Trying to keep it right there. Line shot to the right side. Back goes Braxton Lee, and that's out of here. A 2-run home run from Nick Longy gives the Dirty Birds a 5-1 lead here in the 8th. Reminiscent of last night in terms of when the scoring came. Yesterday, the Dirty Birds played at 3 runs in the first 3 innings, and the scoring was dormant until the 8th. First pitch swinging. Here comes Matt Hibbert, who can't get there in time. Angel Beltre picks up a single. Looked off the bat like it maybe could have squeaked for extra bases, but a good route from Matt Hibbert. Getting back to that point, the Dirty Birds played at 3 in the first 3 last night and then 2 in the 8th on a home run. Doing so once more here this evening. Here's Alfredo Gonzalez, who is 0 for 2 in this contest. A pair of strikeouts looking to accompany a second inning walk. Pickoff move to first from Geeky. 5-1, Dirty Birds on top. The right-hander on his way home. Swung on and missed on a beautiful off-speed, and a count 0-1. The right-handed Dalton Geeky in his second season with the Blue Crabs. Second in the Atlantic League, his 6th season of professional baseball. The 0-1, fouled to the right side. Geeky, Andres Briseño, and Matt Latos made up, in my opinion, the best 3-headed monster in a bullpen last year, and let's be honest, it wasn't all that close. Those three were fantastic. Once you got to the seventh inning, if the Crabs had a lead, it was basically over with. Geeky, Briseño, and Latos, again, in my opinion, the best trio in the Atlantic League last year. 5-1 Dirty Birds. Dalton on his way home. An off-speed bounces away from Ryan Haug, but he keeps it in front of him, and the runner at first stays put. A ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Geeky with a long pause. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. The second strikeout of the inning for the right-hander who fans Alfredo Gonzalez. 2 away for Dalton Geeky and the Blue Crabs as Angel Garced steps into the right-handed batter's box. Garced 0 for 3 today, a pair of pop-outs before he struck out to end the 6th inning. About 20 minutes shy of being 3 hours into this one. As Geeky has his sign. The pitch, a fastball just a touch high. A ball and no strikes the count. And we do have our answer to our trivia question from earlier regarding Ryan Haug. The question was, as this one's fouled over our heads, the question was, who did Ryan Haug play under last season? Who managed him last season? And what former Blue Crabs manager was it? The answer is Butch Hobson, the current manager for the Chicago Dogs and one of Stan Clyburn's best friends. The 1-1, inbound from Geeky. Slapped foul into the seating bowl. Five to 1, Charleston on top here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sun is down and it's getting a little bit more brisk. About 62 degrees right now in Charleston. Curveball, did he go? No, he didn't, says our first base umpire. And Garced retreats to his batter's box. 2-2 the count. Another shout out to Chuck Posey tuning in on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. The fan who got that trivia question right, by the way, is Blue Crabs Diehard on YouTube. Thank you, Blue Crabs Diehard, for that answer. 5-1, Charleston on top. 2-2. And the pitch. Swung on and foul tipped back into the netting. We'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, should we get there, is Scott Kelly, but Geeky would like to end it right here. Geeky has touched 94 on the gun in this inning. See if he can put a little extra mustard on this last pitch. Off speed, bounces in the dirt, and we're full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Angel Garced back into the right-handed batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, and the runner at first in Angel Beltre will almost certainly go on the pitch. 3-2. Here comes number 32 with the payoff pitch. High into the night sky and fouled once more. The charge chants filling the airwaves here in Charleston, West Virginia. Geeky set for the payoff pitch once more. The right-hander on his way home. It's an elevated fastball that misses just a touch upstairs. And that'll be a 8-pitch walk from the right-hander. Garcett gets the free pass, giving way to Scott Kelly. Kelly tonight 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and a flyout. Kelly, a .241 hitter on the season, a real pillar in the community here in Charleston. He's visited schools. He's done a lot to work with kids in the community. A former Somerset Patriot. Swings at the first pitch he sees into right field. Braxton Lee ranging to his left and catching for out number 3. That's how we put 8 innings to bed here in Charleston. The Dirty Birds get 2 on the board in the frame. Score 5-1. Take into the 9th on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
5-1, Dirty Birds on top as we take it into the top of the 9th inning. Southern Maryland's got some work to do as Max Tannenbaum takes the mound, the newcomer into the game. The 4th Charleston pitcher of this contest will attempt to shut down these Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Tannenbaum in 7 appearances this year holds a 6.97 ERA. And Ryan Haug will lead things off for the Blue Crabs, has been hit twice in this game and has reached base in all 3 plate appearances. First, Tannenbaum offering in there for a called strike. A little bit of a sidearm angle for Tannenbaum, and a guy that uses a lot of off speed. Haug from the right side, preparing for the Tannenbaum delivery. Well struck to the left side. This ball's got a chance. Back goes Angel Beltre to the wall, and there is no question about it. Bye-bye baseball. A solo shot from Ryan Haug, his first home run of this 2022 season, and it's a 5-2 Dirty Birds lead as the Crabs have trimmed it once more. A solo shot from Ryan Haug. Here comes Michael Baca. Maybe we'll see if that can provide some energy for this Southern Maryland offense. The Crabs with 8 hits in this game as Baca lofts one into shallow center field. In comes the center fielder and Anthony Seymour. Looked at first like he wasn't going to get there, but he's able to make the grab. That brings up Braxton Lee. Lee 0 for 4 in the contest. Action in the Charleston bullpen just in case it's needed. And Lee watches the first pitch catch the outside corner for strike number 1. 5-2 the score. Southern Maryland has played it a run in each of the last 2 innings as Matt Latos starts warming up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Lee back into the protective netting in the count 0-2. It was a moonshot from Ryan Haug, his first tank of the season. Tannenbaum back on the mound. The 0-2 incoming. Inside, line shot right back up the middle, and that'll be a base hit single for Braxton Lee, his first of the contest. And just like that, Southern Maryland mustering up some magic here in the top of the 9th inning. Raul Shaw coming up to the dish. Shaw lost a 9-game hit streak yesterday. Led the Pioneer League in batting average in 2021 as a member of the Ogden Raptors. The Johns Hopkins product into the right-handed batter's box. Swings at an elevated fastball, but it bounces off his foot, and it goes down as a foul ball. Jared Walker awaits on deck. Walker represents the tying run in this contest. Number 27 digs back into the right-handed batter's box. A 303 hitter on the year. Tannenbaum on his way home. Curveball, sat on it, did Shaw, but still a little bit out in front of it. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Matt Latos continues warming in the bullpen. And here comes the 0-2 to Shaw. A slider hit to the left side. This could be 2. 5, 4, 3, and there it is. That's the ball game, folks. Southern Maryland makes it interesting in the latter stages, but the Dirty Birds pull off another win. 5-2 the final score as Southern Maryland drops their 2nd game in a row. Make that 3rd straight. And the Blue Crabs fall to 23-9 in this 2022 season. Meanwhile, the Dirty Birds advance to 15-17, and we'll step aside for just a moment before we come right back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. post-game show rolls on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Fireworks are expected to be started any minute here, so it can't be too long of a post-game show. What we can tell you, as our friend Wes Mumper comes up to the broadcast booth, Southern Maryland representing here this evening, what we can tell you is the Blue Crabs picked up a run in the 8th inning, their first of the contest. Charleston got a run back in the first, added another 2 in the 3rd before the Blue Crabs could break through in the 8th. Southern Maryland just with 2 runs through the first 2 games of this series, and they'll try to get one back tomorrow. First pitch at 5:05 right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Andrew Banstra here signing off on a 5-2 Dirty Birds win. And as always, let's go Blue Crabs.